The final selection tool we're going to learn is called the Quick Selection tool. But before we get started, let's open up the buildings 8 and 9 JPEG. And we want to be able to select each one of these buildings. Now, with our magic wand tool, we were able to just click once and it selects the same grouping of like pixels that are close to one another. But that's going to take a lot of clicking, especially since we have a lot of different colors for some of these buildings. It'd be really nice if I was able to just quickly paint over and select the pixels I had with one quick stroke. And that's what this new tool does. Let's look in our text. Let's look in our toolbox and choose the Quick Selection tool. And it's going to look like a paintbrush, and it's actually going to act a little bit like a paintbrush. If we look it up in our toolbox options at the very top, you can even see that it has a sizing and a hardness and a spacing options to choose from. For now, I'm going to keep it about 60 or maybe a little bit lower. Let's set it to 40 pixels. And let's always make sure that this middle button is selected. There's 3 different buttons to the left-hand side. Let's make sure that one with the plus sign is selected. Also, we don't want to sample all the layers, and let's not worry with auto enhance. So going over to our image, we've got our little paintbrush circle. If I was to click in one area, you can see it very quickly starts to add on like pixels. And what I'm doing is I'm clicking and dragging over an area, and it's almost picking it up by magic. So very quickly I can make a selection of all that top of that building. If I continue to click and drag, it's adding on to that selection. In just a few strokes, I can have my entire building selected. And when I let go of my mouse, you can see the marching ants are moving around that entire building. So I'm going to go to Edit and Copy, and on my new document, edit and paste it in. I'm going to choose my black arrow and let's move it over to about right here. Yeah, that'll work. Let's go back to our building 9 and let's use that tool again. So I've got my Quick Selection tool, and I'm going to deselect. Very important that you deselect what you had first by hitting Command and D. And I'm going to click and just drag over this entire area. And you can see very quickly it builds on to the building that I have. If you wanted to make quicker selections, you can always adjust the size of your brush that you're working with to say 60 pixels that we originally had it. Make sure that you get all the details, all the windows and everything are selected. And with that, let's go to Edit and Copy over to our night buildings and edit, paste it in. With these last bit of buildings, let's go ahead and put them right on that bottom edge next to, right along the darker edge of the street. Notice now if we'll look at our layers palette, we have a bunch of layers added on to this document. It's going all the way up to 9. You can scroll down and see each of the layers, and in the small little preview icon you can see what building it is. Remember, if you want to be able to select and move one of these buildings, choose your black arrow tool and click on the layer that you want to select. So I know layer 4 is this brownish building. And if I was to click and drag, I can move this hotel around to anywhere so it'll be easily seen. If I wanted to move this darker building, say up a little bit, I know it's on layer 5, so I've clicked on layer 5 and moved it up.